Welcome down to yet another episode of Those Nerds You Know. My name is Ethan.
I'm Eddie.
I'm Scott.
I'm Kaleigh.
And we are Those Nerds You Know.
We
Woo!
have more people than usual.
We do. We've doubled the number of people. Just because we're doubling the number of listeners. Maybe. I'm
Once a fan, and now I'm a guest on the show.
Yeah,
that's pretty awesome.
This is right.
Guests. We have guests.
There's been enough pop culture references using me as their source on this show. So
You're probably the person we've referred to the most. Yes, Scott. But yes, for our listeners, what we have today, we have two guests with us, Scott and Kaleigh McQueen. They're they're married. They're good friends. Scott is.
Let's put that out there first. We're married.
Hi, internet. I'm married.
Yeah, I'm married.
It is
so all the bitter
possible.
single people can stop listening. And well, for longtime listeners, Scott is David's twin brother. So I may sound a little bit similar to him, although probably less excitable.
Yeah, I was going to say, it sounded like listening to myself over on the microphone, I kind of thought about maybe people might confuse me with David, but I think my voice is just a little bit different. So
it's different enough that if eventually if people get to know the two of you well enough, they can tell you apart. But vocally, but even for me that took a while. So I don't know. If it's better for you listeners, you can just pretend he's David.
I would be proud to fill his shoes for now.
Any of those.
Later, though, that's going to be a problem.
As is customary, whenever we have new people on the show, we have them defend their nerddom. So, Kaleigh, tell us why you're nerds.
Don't point at me. I haven't.
Well, I'm a nerd. I mean, I started out with anime and video games and whatnot. But David has been he had more of a background with DC Comics and stuff like that. We kind of grew up together with anime and everything because we kind of did everything. But I think my nerddom came mostly from the Marvel Universe. I really fell in love with the Marvel Universe, and so we kind of collaborated together working on that. I mean, he's all his Green Lantern and I'm all Iron Man and all that jazz.
Beans.
I was a very lonely only child, so I played video games.
Excellent. We love it. Thank y'all for being down here. So, as you can tell from the title of this episode, today we're going to talk about that big movie that came out.
What big movie?
You know, that movie with the Avengers in it.
Rampage. We're going to talk about
the long-lasting quarrel.
We're going to rehash Rampage. But yeah, we're talking about Avengers Infinity War this week. Big, ridiculous box office destruction from this film.
Theoretically. I don't know if Disney's ever done that before. But
So are you aware of just how much they've earned this first weekend?
I haven't seen numbers in a little bit.
So the numbers from this first weekend is $880 million.
Oh my god.
Which means that they are...
Crap. That's such a large amount of money.
They beat out A Force Awakens as the highest grossing first box office weekend. And the people that work at Lucasfilm actually sent them a letter thanking them for their their success or whatever.
Oh, congratulating them. Yeah. That's ridiculous. So 880 million.
Yes.
In the first
almost
weekend.
$1 billion.
I'm pretty sure that's how much the freaking Jumanji movie made through the course of its entire time at the theaters.
Yeah.
And what's pretty remarkable is that both this movie and the future Avengers movie, the budget for both of them together was $1 billion, and they're usually going to make that from now.
Oh gosh, that's
what's interesting is
freaking money.
What's even more interesting is that they haven't even released it in China. It won't release in China until May 11th.
What? That's absurd. Yeah. That's going to be humongous. Gosh.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
Whew. Yeah, those are big numbers. Those are really big numbers. That's like BVS made $800 million in its entire run. It's crazy.
And with the way this movie ended, even more people are going to be watching the next one.
Yeah, truth.
I mean,
they have to. They have to. I mean, we just watched it, and there were people in the theater that were like, "How did this happen?"
If you ever want to feel good again, you're gonna have to watch the new one.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Goodness gracious. Okay. So let's start off. I normally we ask who's in the movie. It'd probably be quicker to ask who's not in this movie. Ant-Man and his crew are not in this movie, as well as Hawkeye and his family are not in this movie. And that's about it. Along with any villains who have been killed, they're not in this movie.
Obviously, yeah.
But villains who were teleported into space show up.
That's true, yeah. We did get a teleported space villain.
But it's crazy. What do we open up on? We open up on
the
Thor.
Thor's place, his spaceship.
Spaceship. So we open up on Thor, and they're just all dying. Heimdall's dying. Loki looks pretty good, actually, but Thor's on the floor. Thanos has wrecked their ship, and he's there to get the Tesseract, which we all know Loki stole in Thor Ragnarok, because who would not have called that? And then he just warps it, and he's, Ugh.
It was that was one of the scenes that I feel like it really set the tone for the whole movie. Because with the conflict that they saw there, we don't really see all that happened, but we hear from the radio at the beginning that like half of their people have been taken care of. So that's why we don't see Valkyrie, and that's why we don't see.
Yeah, you hear like the distress signal.
Yeah. And we don't hear from all the other characters that were in Ragnarok, but I'm assuming that they all got out of like escape ships or whatever. And then that first death is just insane. It starts off everything.
Watching it from, I guess, the second time. So I'm coming in, like, I really don't know about Thanos, don't know about comics, don't know anything, don't really, not big into it. So I'm like, I don't know much about this guy, don't know how strong he is, and I really like that they use the Hulk. Kind of like, we have a Hulk, and so they do that whole fight, and that's when you kind of like, oh, shoot, this dude ain't playing. Like, he takes him out in like 2 seconds, and you're like, okay, well, now I can kind of gauge this guy and how strong he is. And that was really good. I really like that little short little fight. It's really cool. But yeah, it does exactly that. It shows you that Thanos is not to be messed with, and he's ridiculous. Gosh. It also sets Hulk on his little hissy fit where he doesn't want to come out and fight for the rest of the movie.
Yeah, I wouldn't either.
Gosh.
After I got my butt beat up like that.
So scary. Oh, man. And then Thor tries to do stuff, but he can't. And then we watch freaking... I hated that Heimdall died. And I hated
that was rough.
I hated that Loki died. I didn't want to watch Loki die. But it was very... It was brutal and just... Oof. But I think it was another thing that set the tone for Thanos and just sort of showed that he's not a being of mercy whatsoever, even though he claims all that he's doing is mercy.
It definitely set the stakes for the movie as well. Like, we see right up from the get-go that, like, everybody is expendable. Everybody is... Nobody's got plot armor. We're just going to take out what we can.
Yeah. Truth. Definitely so. Goodness gracious. And then we move on to some of my favorite stuff in the film, which is like Doctor Strange and Iron Man.
Yes.
Super fun. Hulk gets sent to Earth, and he's like, Thanos is coming. And Doctor Strange is like, okay, who dat?
Who?
Yeah. Goodness gracious. So that's good times. They come to Earth, or Hulk goes to Earth, and he's like, hey, we gotta get ready because Thanos is coming. And then we have this fun little conversation with Gwyneth Paltrow, Pepper Potts, and Robert Downey Jr. Iron Man. I don't know why I had to say their actual names first. I forgot who they were. They have a cute little thing. I love seeing Pepper Potts. I'm so happy anytime I can see Pepper show up in something.
I was kind of hoping to see...
is a bee, so
I was hoping to kind of see her in a suit because she would be really cool to see her as Rescue.
Yeah.
The only time we ever see her even remotely close to it is Iron Man 3 when she's got the suit on.
Yeah, Iron Man 3. What a great movie.
Oh yeah, so great.
But yeah, we see that, and I just love. I love Tony's interactions with the freaking doctor and how Tony's.
Yes.
He's just like, I don't know what you are, and I don't care.
Wizard.
The wizard.
The wizards. You're embarrassing me in front of the wizards. I love that so much. So good.
Did you feel like the humor was too much in some parts, or was it?
No, I don't think that was at all a problem, because it very much needed that humor with all the dark tones.
Yeah, yes, all the crap going on.
I feel like that too. Like they're you know, I feel like if it wasn't there, this would be a DC movie.
Have you seen the latest Deadpool trailer?
Yeah.
You're so dark and gritty.
I thought that was
the DC universe.
That was a bit heavy-handed.
Oh, so funny. Oh gosh. Anyways, but yeah, no, I agree. There's a lot of characters in this who like actually like use their humor to like deal with stuff, either to hide behind or to like deal with what they're going through. So I was perfectly fine that we had all the humor going on, and I enjoyed that a lot. What was your favorite jokes? Some of your favorite quips in this movie?
I think one of my favorite quips is like when, and this is later on in the battle with Wakanda and everything, is Rocket and Bucky, and they're shooting around all these bad guys and stuff.
Yeah.
And he's like, "How much for the gun?" And he's like, "The gun's not for sale." He's like, "How about the arm?" And he didn't even respond. And Raccoon's like, "Oh, I'm getting that arm."
Yeah. So good. So funny.
The wizard part was probably my favorite, with the "You're embarrassing me in front of the wizard." I cracked up.
It's super funny. No, my favorite, the thing I laughed at the most was, hi, I'm Peter. Doctor Strange. But, we're using our made-up names. Gotcha. I'm Spider-Man. I laughed so hard. So good. So funny.
And one of the things I liked about it was that, instead of... I hate to use Justice League as an example, but I'm sure we'll probably compare the two somewhere throughout the podcast.
Yeah,
but it feels like in this movie, they weren't doing comedy for comedy's sake. This is just how their characters act. This is how they react to things.
It wasn't forced.
It wasn't forced. Whereas, in some other movies, it would be like, okay, we need comedy here for plugins and stuff.
Yeah.
No.
It's good. It's good.
Or when Drax was eating a peanut.
Yeah.
Funny. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I'm invisible.
I've mastered the art of staying completely still.
So good. I love that. All the character interactions in this are so great. Essentially, we learn throughout the course of this film, Thanos is sending out all his goons and also going himself to gather all the Infinity Stones, to put them into his gauntlet so that he can destroy half the population of the universe. Because in so doing, he will then allow the universe to be balanced and everybody who remains to be able to prosper and not waste all their resources and such and such and such. Mm-hmm. And the whole movie.
And I feel like
yes.
I was just going to say that I feel like that is a very loose understanding of where Thanos came from in the comics. Because in the comics, like that he has the same kind of goal where he needs to equalize the galaxy and whatnot, but it isn't so much for that specific purpose. In the comics, he's a bit more nuts. He has this beautiful woman that comes to him, and he always imagines this beautiful woman.
Death.
Yeah, she's the embodiment of death, and basically he's just nuts. He's just completely crazy about her, and she just wants death, and so he kind of does this to supply that.
Yeah, showing off. He's like, "Hey, look at this nice fancy car I got," but instead he's like, "Hey, look at me kill all these people."
Yeah, I don't feel like we as an audience would like connect with him as well.
No, obviously not. No.
Well, I wouldn't call a person who wanted to eliminate half the population sane.
Right, yeah, definitely. But yeah,
they did try to humanize him a bit, I suppose.
They did, yeah. We saw some of his origin a little bit on Titan and different things of that nature. But yeah, crazy. I don't know. We could sit here and go through the whole movie, but I think there's so much to this film.
It was 2 hours and 30 minutes.
Gosh, yeah.
There was a lot.
There's a lot. What let's talk about some of our favorite things that happened. What are our favorite team ups? What did y'all like? Who did y'all like seeing freshly interacting with each other?
I really liked the Scarlet Witch. I think that's her name. I don't even know. Mm-hmm. And Vision. Mm-hmm. I thought it was cute.
Yeah.
That was a good interaction.
A little love. A little bit of
romance.
I think
it kind of lightens the mood a little bit because all this stuff going on. Like, let's take a trip to Scotland.
Yeah. It was super cute. And then he got stabbed through the chest.
Multiple times, actually.
Yes, he's been stabbed twice. Oh, gosh. Which is crazy because he's made of vibranium.
That's true, yeah. He's completely invulnerable to most things. And which is so weird that like he gets stabbed so many times in this movie.
Yeah.
Well, granted, it was by the same weapon.
Yeah, it was by
yeah.
that little scepter that dark elf guy carries around.
the goblin elf guy.
Yeah, I don't know any of their names, and I won't know any of their names. So.
Yeah, right.
Dark elf guy.
Unimportant. They're all
crazy religious guy.
Big guy.
Yeah, big guy and female.
Big girl.
Gotcha. Done.
I think one of my favorite team-ups was Tony Stark with the Guardians.
Yeah.
Seeing him with Doctor Strange was really cool, but like seeing him comparative to that level of absurdity,
yes.
He's just like, there's so many times where he just like pauses and he's like,
yes. I love how
really?
exasperated he was just like being around them, like trying to get them to do anything. It was so fun.
Did you just
so
yawn?
good. Yes.
It's like, well, I'm breaking it down right now. Like,
I really enjoyed Thor with the raccoon bunny and
wow, rockets,
the bunny
and the tree. Groot.
I
love that he doesn't refer to either of them by their names ever. Like,
I know.
He refers to Rocket as Bunny, and when he introduces Groot, he calls him a tree. It's like, it's so good. It's so great.
I really enjoyed the giant Peter Dinklage.
Yes, right?
I thought that was the funniest
so
thing
good.
I had ever seen. Like, it was so out of the blue.
It was. I loved it.
Especially since I watched Game of Thrones, so
yeah.
I know Peter Dinklage to be like a dwarf, you know?
Yes, right. Yep. That's what he is.
And in this
But
movie,
now he's a space dwarf.
A giant dwarf.
Yep. A space dwarf living on a
Great.
star. Yeah, it was good. It was real cool. Thor did a lot in this movie.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, man.
As he should.
As he should.
This seems like very much of a Thor movie. I mean, like I feel like they all had a pretty even amount of screen time.
This is a Thanos movie. This movie was about Thanos. And,
yeah. Oh yeah.
But yeah, and insofar as it's basically a follow-up almost directly to Thor Ragnarok, Thor gets a lot of screen time. Also, there's a lot of things in here that I'm surprised it took us this long to like learn about. Like, I'm surprised it took us this long to get to the forge where his hammer was made.
Yeah, right? What is that about?
Well, we didn't really need it before.
No, but it would have been cool.
Sure, but
yeah.
But hey, I'm gonna go get another hammer.
Like, if anything,
his hammer was destroyed.
If anything, I figure it would have happened in Thor Ragnarok.
Yeah.
But it didn't, and that's okay. That's all good.
It's sad that the forge only worked the one time to make this axe, though. I feel like it would have been really cool to like make more weapons for all the Avengers.
Yeah, that would have been really cool. I don't know how often that happens in the comics. I think Tony does some interesting things. Like, I think he makes an Iron Man suit.
He makes an Iron Man suit out of Asgardian metal, yeah. It's pretty dope.
I imagine. But yeah. What other cool team-ups happen in this? What we got? I liked that we got to see Captain America's team.
Yeah.
That was fun. That was good. It's good to hear from him again since last time we saw him was Civil War. But yeah.
I really liked seeing Black Panther. Like, obviously it's been very recent since his movie came out, but like to see him just like bringing his A game, his whole crew got together, and they've got this army set up, and they're just ready to fight.
Yeah. Oh, here's another question. So, when did everybody see this film? Did anybody see it Thursday night, like opening night?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we did.
Okay, I did as well.
I saw it this afternoon, like 7 hours ago.
We did as well.
Oh.
So I saw it Thursday night, and then I saw it again the following night on Friday. But on Thursday night, I was there with all the nerds, right? And just who in your theater, based off your experience, guys, which introduction got the biggest woos from the crowd? because people went insane when Captain America showed up. I was like, whoa, guys,
there was only
slow
like
down.
5 people in my theater when I watched it. So.
Well, you count yourself lucky because I missed probably 50% of the dialogue in that film because anytime anything remotely funny happened, everyone laughed, and then I would immediately miss the next statement that anyone made in the film.
Exactly.
I was just like, come on, guys. Yeah, no, people went insane for Captain America. People went ballistic for freaking Black Panther. Like, whenever Captain America was like, I know a place, and then the music comes in, and then it just moves to Wakanda, like, everybody went crazy. That was probably the bigger one for me. It was nuts. That one and
it was
Guardians also, when the Guardians came in.
I was going to say, it was nice to feel the audience kind of jam into Guardians.
Because you just kind of heard like a chuckle for the Guardians. Like,
yeah, it's good. No, it was. I enjoyed having the experience in like a full theater of nerds, just because like everything that happened felt like it had weight because everyone in the audience reacted to it. So it was good, like the good and the bad. It was crazy. It's nuts. Anyway, what other new team ups did we like seeing? New things, new stuff.
I like Star-Lord being jealous of Thor.
Oh, that was really good.
And the whole like bit where he's like imitating him.
Yes,
that was good.
Oh, that's great. I wonder.
But it's interesting to.
I wonder if any of that was. I wonder if any of that was like ad-libbed or like.
Oh, I'm sure
right.
some of it.
I'm sure
that's
it
how it
was.
felt.
Because
Chris Pratt is amazing.
I can imagine Chris Pratt walking around like imitating Chris Hemsworth just on the set generally, and I imagine someone was like, "Please do that in the film." It's like, so good. He's so freaking stupid.
It was good to see like Thor like kind of dealing with it, because like he's seen so much crazy stuff lately with Thor Ragnarok and everything that like.
Well, he just watched his brother die too.
That's true too, but so
everyone's
like he's kind of unfazed.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Speaking of romance, how do you feel about Gamora and homeboy Peter? I always forget Peter Quill's name. Oh gosh, so many feels. I got real feels the first time I watched this film, and most of it involved Gamora and Thanos.
Yeah.
Goodness gracious.
They did really good about establishing their relationship.
Yeah, that was really, I like that.
Goodness gracious.
And it's hard for me to tell, like, when Thanos goes into like that spirity realm or whatever towards the end of the movie, and he sees baby Gamora again. It's hard to tell if like she's looking at him in like anger or if it's like peace. Like, it feels, the second time I saw it seemed like she's kind of like, I'm glad that this happened. I'm glad that we found an end. Yeah. But at the first time I saw it, it looked like she was kind of just angry, and it was just boiling inside.
I think she was.
That was a confusing scene anyway. Like,
yeah.
It felt really out of place. Like, I know it like was the point at which, you know, he just destroyed half of humanity, but it just seemed really weird. Like, I'm sure they'll expand on it later.
Yeah.
But
that's what I expect.
It was just really weird.
The Weekly Planet. I listened to the Weekly Planet's review of it yesterday, and they, I think Nick mentioned that it might be that. Gamora's soul was traded and that it was captured by the Soul Stone, so she might be in the stone in his glove, and so that's why he saw her after doing that. But it could also just be sort of like a hallucination or a construct of his mind, which is why she would have been at peace, because that's how he would want to see her. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So
yeah. So Adam Warlock is the one that like holds the Soul Stone in the comics, and he in the Soul Stone collects the souls of those that have died around it. It's kind of powered and everything, but it also can use those souls to bring life to other people.
Right.
So I think that's why we saw this kind of thing where we had to sacrifice a soul in order for it to manifest itself again.
Yeah, definitely. Oh, how do we feel about freaking Red Skull?
That was
dope. I lost my mind when I saw that. It was so cool. I was like, what? Everybody, and when I was in my first viewing with all the nerds, everyone was just same reaction of like, what? And it's like so cool. Oh my goodness gracious! I think it was
kind of unironic because like the scene right before that, I look over at Scott and I'm like, this kind of looks Lord of the Ring-ish.
Yeah.
And then he also is in Lord of the Rings.
Yep. That elf. Even though it actually wasn't him in this movie.
Close enough.
Yeah. It was.
They changed the actor, but it was so good that you didn't really. I mean,
I didn't notice.
No, it was just a guy doing an impression and then like a CGI person. So. But yeah, it was so cool, and it was just it made perfect sense. So the stone would banish him there to lead people to a treasure he can't have. Like just to be within reach of a stone, even though he was chasing it. Like, oh, so cool. And when he mentioned, like, I used to chase the stones as well. I even held one in my hand. I'm thinking, yeah, that one that you held is in Homeboy's glove right now. Like, you're a few feet from it. Like, so crazy.
I wonder how people who haven't had a lot of experience with the Marvel movies would take this scene. Like, for someone who hasn't seen Captain America specifically.
Like, I imagine someone coming into this can get the gist of, like, Thanos, and, like, there's these heroes everywhere, and they're really quippy, but, like, in order to, and you could probably still enjoy the film, but, like, in order to appreciate the film, you must have seen everything. Like it's crazy to me how much is in this movie. They pack so much in it. But yeah, I'd imagine you'd have to, like, have seen all. I haven't seen
at
the
least
whole
the most
movie.
recent ones. Like,
yeah, right. But I mean, even Red Skull, that was from the first Avenger. It was from
But I don't feel like his. I mean, I don't feel it like it was significant. Like,
no. Like, you don't need to have known who he was. Like I'm saying, to understand the story or to appreciate or enjoy the film. But it's just that little bit more interesting for anyone who has.
Yeah,
this is why I appreciate this. Ugh.
Yeah, it's a lot of kind of bonuses for the fans that have been around for the long haul.
Yes,
and I mean, this is a huge investment. It's been 10 years or so that they've been making these movies, so it's been awesome to see that change. And it's good to see that, like, it's still being filtered into the other media. I don't know if you guys have seen or been keeping up with Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Nah.
Nope.
Really?
Never will.
I didn't start it.
So it's still good. I mean, David did an episode about the last season, and this season has been pretty amazing. But after Avengers opened, the next episode came out, and they're almost at the end of their season. So it's kind of like they're getting to the final fight, basically, in these last two episodes, or kind of ending it or whatever. Anyway, they get to a point where they were asking Philip Coulson to bring some backup to their problem, because they've got this, like, doomsday event happening and whatnot. And they're like, well, there's no backup waiting for you. Do you have any idea what's happening in New York right now? And I was just like, oh, I know what's happening in New York right now.
Crazy. Do you think they're going to have people disintegrate in that show?
Oh, I think hands down they do. They're going
to have to, like, put up, like, a spoiler alert for anyone who hasn't seen the film.
For sure. The last episode of this season is titled The End, so I feel... And there's only 2 episodes until then, so, like, I don't think that they're going to have any time to fix it.
That's
but it hasn't been renewed for another season, so this may be the last Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. that we get anyway.
That's what I thought it was anyway. I thought they were going into it knowing or thinking that it was going to be the end of it. It's just like over 100 episodes now, yeah?
Yep. Yep. It's a pretty big investment now.
Oh, yeah. Okay. If this is the final season and it's actually done, I might go back and watch them now that it's done.
I'm gonna throw a party.
Okay, you do that. Do you not appreciate them, Kaleigh?
No.
Yeah, it seems a bit more campy than the rest of the Marvel universe. But anyway, what were we talking about? Well, I don't know. Is there? What are some of the good things in this film?
I was good to see that Groot was playing a part with the Stormbreaker axe.
Oh, that was really cool.
It was interesting to see him as, like, an adolescent, like a teen, and dealing with, like, teen angst and everything. But then when he sees that, okay, this is really where it needs to happen, he decides, okay, I'm going to help pick up this axe and do the right thing.
Yeah.
It's interesting that this axe doesn't have the special curse on it like Mjolnir did, to where nobody that has to be worthy has to pick it up.
Right. Well, in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, that original hex was put on there by Odin, so it wasn't innate to the hammer. So with no Odin there, being like, where's the power for? It's fine. Anybody can pick it up, theoretically. Although I imagine it's kind of heavy. Probably just Thor. Oh, maybe Captain America can pick it up. That'd be so freaking cool.
That would be pretty amazing to see. Or even like a Drax or somebody picking it up, but no, that's sad.
So cool. Yeah.
Another thing I really liked, so like the whole time Doctor Strange was like, we can't give away the stone, that's my whole job, I'm not giving away the stone,
True.
Y'all can all die. And then he goes to the part where he sees into the future in the one scenario where they win or whatever.
Yep.
And then right after he does that, he's like, okay, here's a stone.
Yep. He's like,
I'm like,
I have to do this now.
What you saw.
Yeah.
So I thought that was like really neat.
Definitely a part of it.
Seeing it the second time, we see he has also cues. So, like, after the fight starts, he's like, okay, now we're in the end game.
Yeah, he says we're in the end game now.
And then right before he disappears, he tells Tony, this is how it had to happen. And you're like, oh, shoot.
Okay, let's talk about an annoying part for me. How aggravated did you get at Peter Quill when he just starts punching Thanos in the face?
Oh my gosh,
I was like, stop it, Peter, what are you doing?
He just drops the ball, man.
Another thing, so like that whole scene aggravates me so much because, and it's meant to. It's meant to be tense and it's meant to aggravate you because they get almost there. Then yeah. But like two things are going on that I'm like, so like Peter walks up and he's just chatting with him while all his mates are holding this guy down and expending all of their energy to try and get this glove off. I'm like, Peter, what are you doing? Why are you not helping in any way?
Yeah.
Second, Nebula is also there, just standing. And I'm like, what? Nebula, physically, you're probably the strongest here, aside from maybe Spider-Man. What are you doing? Why? It's just like...
I didn't notice that until my second, like today
right?
when we watched it. I'm like, there's two people standing
Two
here
people
doing
watching
nothing.
this happen. I'm like, what? What is going on?
And then Iron Man is like right next to him.
Yes.
For a lot of it. And I'm like, you could have just like hit him in the head. If you really thought
Totally
this is when you're about
could,
to take down Thanos, you could have like blasted him away and made him like shut up.
Yeah.
Because you saw it coming.
Put one of your detachable blasters on him and just launch him into space for a second, so you could do it. Like,
And I think a lot of that. I think that plan wasn't there to succeed because at that point Doctor Strange had already seen the future, and so I feel like he was just kind of like. Letting them know. I don't know how much he told them about what the future looks like.
That makes a lot of sense. Like that, it makes sense that Doctor Strange would have seen this happen, and if anything would have happened amiss, he probably would have went to fix it. Like, I imagine he kept his cool throughout all this because he knew that this was the only way to make it actually happen. By the way, loved watching him fight Thanos. Loved seeing some real good magic from him. So cool.
He does Shadow Clone Jutsu.
Yeah.
It wasn't just like weird circly teleportation. It wasn't just like weird teleportation circles and stuff. Although that was way cool with Spider-Man. He's like, magic!
Oh, yes, magic
over the head!
Kick.
Magic with a kick!
So good. Oh, man. I love Spider-Man.
And then Thanos was like, shockwave, and all of them disappeared.
Yes. Yeah. Yep. Just kill them.
It's interesting that Bruce Banner is like out of the loop throughout the majority of the movie too, because like they're talking about the other Avengers and just kind of what's happened and everything, and they're like, "Who's Scott?" And they're like, "Oh, that's Ant-Man."
Right. Yeah.
Like, there's an Ant-Man and a Spider-Man.
So long. I love that. I was watching him catch up with Tony, and he's like, "Yeah, we don't really. We broke up." Just like broke up, like a band, like the Beatles. Which I didn't hear the Beatles comment until my second viewing because everybody and their mom laughed at just the band part. Oh gosh, so funny.
What did you think about the new bad guys, the Children of Thanos?
They were good, and I'm glad they all died, and I'm glad it wasn't ridiculous. because so another comparison to Justice League, Homeboy Darkseid has his minions as well. One of whom was Steppenwolf. Is that what they call him?
Steppenwolf, yeah.
Steppenwolf, who was the only villain we saw in Justice League when really Darkseid should have been the bad guy, and we should have seen some of his minions, and Steppenwolf one of them should have been knocked out the way one of these four guys was knocked out in this film. And so it's just yet another example of how Marvel can do a very similar premise to what DC is trying to do, but they do it so much better. So we have BVS versus Civil War, and then we have Justice League and this movie. I'm just like, what are you doing? Like, DC.
But at this point, there's really not much of a comparison because this movie is also built on that investment. I mean, they're not really pulling any punches. They're not teaching the people who are new to this. They're kind of expecting you to come in with some basic knowledge of the heroes at this point.
Yep. Absolutely.
Which saves a lot of plot time.
Sure does, because they just didn't have time to waste on that in this film. Yeah. Like it's 2.5 hours long, like we've said, and it still kind of feels brisk to me, because we changed so much, and it's just.
And there's so much going on, so many moving parts that it's hard to keep up. I feel like that's why I needed to see it twice, because the first time I saw it, it was just like one long ride, and then by the second time you're like, okay, so what's really going on here?
Yeah, it's good that it doesn't. I don't feel like the movie drags. Like, it doesn't have a sluggish part. It starts off, and it builds from the start up through the whole time. It's a couple slow bits at the beginning, and then it just keeps going, and it keeps building, and it does not slow down until the very end when everyone slowly dies. And yada, yada, yada. Goodness.
I was really hoping to see, since they went to Wakanda, I was really hoping to see Martin Freeman. And maybe see Doctor Strange.
Yes, I just want to see those two of them interact so badly, but it looks like we might not have that until either the next Doctor Strange movie or the next Avengers.
It's even more fun to know that the Captain Marvel movie is going to have Jude Law in it.
Yeah,
so if Jude Law comes in the Avengers, it would be Jude Law, Tony Stark.
Yep, all the Sherlocks and all the Watsons.
The trifecta.
It's 2 Sherlocks and 2 Watsons in one movie.
It's great.
And they'll throw a quip about that for sure.
I'm sure. I just want Martin Freeman to meet Martin Freeman's character. What is his name?
I don't know.
Is it Ross? Is it Agent Ross? Agent Cross?
Agent
something. Yeah. His first name is Agent.
It's Agent.
Definitely.
Yeah, his first name is Agent. Anyway, I just want to see him meet Doctor Strange. I want Doctor Strange to say something to him, and I just want him to look back and be like, "Who are you?" and then just walk. That's what I want so bad. Oh my goodness gracious. What else?
It's sad that with S.H.I.E.L.D. taking a back seat, though, that they have to use the CIA as a plot device, though.
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, that's just the way they chose to go, and I'm alright with that. I guess we can talk about that after credit sequence in a bit. But
for sure.
Goodness gracious. Let's talk about Wakanda for a bit. What do we enjoy in that? I loved seeing Captain America and the Black Panther sprint out ahead of everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah,
so
he was kicking it.
Freaking cool.
Get this man a shield.
Yes. But I had to question.
It's like he had 2 shields.
Yes. Wouldn't Homeboy have also been keeping up with the two of them, Bucky?
I feel like he's got the same kind of super serum that Captain America is, but it's not quite as condensed. Like he's strong, but I don't think he's as strong as Captain America. And a lot of his strength comes from his arm. Augmentations involving that.
That might be the case. I just figured.
But it is interesting to see that
he has had some type of serum.
Yes, he does. Yeah, he did get a recovery serum to get back from being thrown off of a cliff, basically.
Well, also to stay alive for decades and not age.
True. But it's interesting to see that Black Panther was slower than Captain America because his suit and the power that he got from the fruit should have been able to keep him. They should have been able to
Well, his suit doesn't make him faster. It is his power from the fruit and all that nonsense that makes him. And they were at the same speed from what I could tell. But yeah,
it would have been nice to see someone having donned the Golden Panther one.
Oh yeah, that's true because they do technically still have that unless they buried Homeboy in it, which I doubt they would have done. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe someone will don it in his absence for a bit. But
like M'Baku.
Yeah,
it'd be cool to see M'Baku in it.
Gosh, it'd be so cool. M'Baku or his female security lead.
Mm-hmm.
What's her name? I don't remember her name.
I just keep calling her Michonne.
Michonne, yeah.
Do not know. I don't know.
She's a big fighter. I feel like if she should be taking a really strong point in the next movie as well.
She's cool. I liked watching her and other female fight. The female.
Yeah, I like the female showdown basically.
Yeah, and that wasn't. I don't feel like it was forced or it had to be plugged in or anything like that. That's just how those characters worked, and it worked really, really well.
Yeah, it was cool. Like watching Scarlet Witch kill a girl. That was good. I also did I liked watching Scarlet Witch fight a lot in this movie.
Yeah,
and,
her introduction into the Wakanda fight was really great.
Yes.
She's insanely powerful.
Well, she's an Omega level mutant in the comics, and for most of the stories, she's the cause of a lot of crap. In a lot of stuff. One of her arcs in the comics, she removes 99% of all mutants from the world.
Whoa.
Which is, it's absurd. So her general ability is, she's got the sparky nonsense that we see in levitation and telepathy and telekinesis, but she can bend reality, which we saw her play around with in Age of Ultron. But she can for real do it, not just do it in your head. So she's pretty nuts. She's a very, very powerful mutant. But I doubt they'll go to that level with her in these films.
It felt like she was kind of going easy at the beginning, though, because the power level in the first fight when she was defending Vision compared to the war when she's lifting gigantic mechanized structures and dropping them.
I think her power levels often relate to her emotional state in this in this universe. That's what I believe. Is when she's more stressed, when she's more invested, and of course she would have been invested in protecting the Vision, but I think by the time we got later in this film, she was more aware of the stakes at hand.
Is it similar to Raven's powers in Teen Titans?
I have no idea. Maybe. I like Raven. Anyways, we're going to get on a tangent if I stay on there. But yeah, I really like that. Everything about Thor in this film was great, and I loved him showing up when he just opens the Rainbow Gate, flies down. Bifrost, there you go. Flies down to Earth, and he's like, "Bring me Thanos." I love that line so much. And just jumps up and summons all the lightning ever. It was so cool. Jesus. It was the coolest moment.
Like, "Oh, you guys are gonna get it now."
Yes. I didn't hear that the first time. I love actually being able to hear that the second time I went through. Oh man, it's freaking great. I just and then Groot introduces himself to freaking Captain America. I am Groot. I'm Steven Rogers.
I'm Steve Rogers.
Yes. And as we mentioned,
and that's
before,
when Thor introduced him as Tree.
Yes. That's yes. So good, so good. Man, and I love watching Thor wreck some stuff. So good. And watching all the aliens turn tail and run away, and gosh.
That was a really good scene of showing how much of a scale Thanos actually could bring to the table.
Yeah.
Obviously Wakanda is a very small portion of the Earth as a whole, but that war was that battle's insanely huge.
And that was just part of his army.
Yeah.
It was just
that was just one ship.
Yeah.
That had a bunch of little things coming off of it.
Yeah. It just Oh. What else? I was really touched by we kind of mentioned this, but earlier on in the film, the altercation between Peter Quill, and Gamora and Thanos when they're at Nowhere. That was really
That was very moving.
I really liked Thanos' reaction too, where he was like, "Oh, you expect too much. These humans
expect too much of him.
Let people down." Mm-hmm. And he's like, "Oh,
I like him.
He's gonna do it." Yeah.
It's good. You got that approval, broski.
Yeah.
Dad's giving you
girlfriend's
approval.
dad is all right with you.
Yeah.
Great. Now you got to make sure she survives. Oh. Yeah.
And I was expecting there to be some sort of trickery with the Reality Stone, but after he removed kind of what the Reality Stone was hiding, you just see Nowhere's just been reduced to rubble. It's just on fire.
Yep.
And it's really weird that they just didn't sense that at all.
Actual garbage fire. Yeah. It's just
Because the second time I watched it, I tried to pay more attention to when he was using the stones, because when he uses them, they glow. So I'm just trying to make sure I didn't miss anything that maybe he was bending. Because, theoretically, he could bend, any reality he wanted to at any time. So I wanted to make sure, they weren't glowing at weird times. But I didn't
see if anything that we would assume was actually real. Yeah. Man, yeah. Yeah, his ability to use the stone seems to fade in and out. Or, I guess maybe his, consciousness of it. I don't know. Because there's plenty of times where he could have turned everybody to spaghetti or whatever.
Exactly.
Just rip things apart. Just turn them into cookies and eat them. Boo. You know what I mean? Any of this nonsense he could have done, but he...
Maybe he's, so powerful, he's not used to it, and he, forgets all the things that he can do.
Honestly, I think that's what it is. I think it's just him not being used to it. Because, he's never actually held all of these stones. He knows theoretically what they do, but he's never actually... He hasn't practiced. He's like Frieza in his gold form. Once he obtained his gold form, came straight down to Earth to fight all the Saiyans, didn't take time to get used to it and learn really what he should have been doing, and then he died for the 17th time. Yes.
And Thanos uses one stone at a time for a little while in the beginning, but then when we see that fight in the...
He'll start using two at a time.
He starts using two at a time, and then when he goes against Doctor Strange, you see him use three. He uses this power, the space, and the reality stone on Steven to try and remove that spell on him.
Interesting.
So he's evolving.
He had to grow and use it more often.
Oh, speaking of fighting Thanos, I really enjoyed Iron Man's fight with him.
Oh yeah, that nanosuit is amazing.
That's super cool. I love watching him physically fight someone. It's so cool. So cool to watch. I like hearing all the thuds and the clanks from when he hit. It's so pretty.
I like
Tony Stark had
I like the constant barrage of weapons he kept.
Yes.
Yeah, I was gonna say he's got a huge arsenal now with this new weapon, and it just seems to grow and change by his own mind, basically.
Oh, and in the beginning of the film, when the two guys show up on Earth, and when he fights the big guy comes at him, and he just uses his nanosuit and just blows him to crap and just shoots him off. I love that. Seeing all that was so cool.
Earth is closed for the day.
Yeah, Earth is closed for the day. It's so good. Oh, man. Stark, what's this guy's problem? Oh, he's a big guy from space. Came here to steal a necklace from a wizard. I love Spider-Man. Oh, man.
So what about the ending, though? How did you guys react to that? How did the theater react to it while you guys were watching?
I liked right before the ending. I like when we got to see Thanos enter the Earth, and everybody ran at him in different points, and we just watch him one by one destroy every Avenger that walks towards him, phases the Hulk. By the way, he phases the Hulk into the wall, the Hulkbuster, and we never see the Hulkbuster get out of the wall. He just shows up again, standing in the middle of everyone. True. And I tried to pay attention the second time just to see if I missed it. No, I didn't miss anything. He just at one moment he's in the wall, and the next moment he's in the center of everybody, watching everybody die. And I'm like, what happened? I really want to see. I can't wait to see an extended edition of this movie, because I imagine there's plenty of other stuff that we didn't get to see, and I really want to see it. But yeah, how about that Captain America holding that Thanos hand?
Yeah, that was crazy. But at the same time, I'm also kind of I don't know how that would. I mean, I feel like Thanos would have been able to just knock him out. I mean, he did. Obviously, he takes him out in one punch.
But Thanos, again, I think Thanos likes to test people and toy with people a little bit, and
definitely.
Yeah,
when he was
I think that he just likes physically fighting people.
He likes playing with people too. He likes
Yeah,
I'm sure he's been bored.
Right. I just think it was really cool to watch the realization on Thanos' face while he was pushing down on him. It's oh, this guy's got a little bit more than I would think. That was really cool. I hope we get a little bit more of that in the next one. Hope Captain America can punch some more of them. Yes. I too am very happy to have Captain America back. But yeah, and he just basically throws everyone else off of him, and then turns time back we knew he was going to have to at one point once he got the time stone. And rips the stone. Freaking Vision dies twice in this film.
Yeah, it's brutal. It's very brutal. He didn't pull punches at all.
Oh
this movie.
gosh, Vision.
Yeah, he was pretty much like thrown around the entire movie.
Vision and Nebula both got a hard go at it this movie.
Oh,
Gosh. Oh, but yeah, no. Vision dies twice, and then some of the coolest. But like, okay, so for a long time we were introduced to this film as it was going to be a part 1, and then we're going to have a part 2. Because originally part 1 was going to be part of its name. But they removed part 1 from the name of it like a while back. So the second one, I guess, will have a different subtitle. But obviously it's going to have to be a follow-up to this. And so, but with that, like when I heard that the part 1 was removed, I started wondering if they were going to try and like, sort of like pin this all together, wrap it up in a bow.
No
and
way.
then I'm glad they didn't. But
no,
like,
I knew they weren't going to because that's so much money for them.
right. But and then it was the moment I had moments of doubt throughout the film, and my biggest moment of doubt was when Thor rushes in and just chunks this axe into his chest, and I was like, yeah, get him, let's go. And then obviously that
Snap.
he's still it's like you should have gone for the head, and he still won.
He legitimately won.
Yeah.
I mean, that final scene right before the credits when he's just kind of at his cabin, in my head I'm just like, good game, guys. They played well, but it's all done now.
Yeah, no, it was a win that I think he deserved. Thanos fought hard, and they just weren't ready. And it was about time that we had a villain like that. Because I mean, technically, Ultron should have been like that. Because in the comics, Ultron was a big problem who was around for decades, and they had to like go back in time to solve the problem, to actually solve it, just to prevent it from happening.
One of the first things I said when we left is that, like, finally, I'm sometimes like, darker stuff, and I'm like, I just want a movie where they don't win.
Mm-hmm.
They lose, and the bad guy wins.
Yep.
GG, sucks to suck.
Yep.
And I feel like this movie, like, did that for me. Knowing that it's not the end, but also knowing, just for a minute, I can be like, wow, he did great. He won. He beat the crap out of everybody.
Yep.
And just
now he can watch the sunrise.
Yeah. On a grateful universe, quote unquote.
It also made me think of like that scene from the very first Avengers where Tony's talking to Loki, and he's like, if we don't save the Earth, we'll be darn sure that we're going to avenge it.
Yeah.
And I was like, it's been a long time since they've had to avenge anything. It's always just been kind of internal conflicts.
Accurate.
But this time, they've got to avenge a lot.
Yeah, definitely. It's going to be so much excellent revenge anger in the next film. So good. I'm so ready. So ready. Anyway, let's talk about...
Well, you got to wait a year.
Let's talk about deaths.
Oh, yes.
Yes, death.
Kaleigh, yes.
So my favorite thing, I was going to bring it up actually, my favorite thing, watching it the second time, we had like some ladies behind us.
That's
and, like,
always
every
good.
time. And like they were like really vocal, the type. And so every person that was dying, like, so like, the Black Panther died, like, no! But then like next, like Scarlet Witch died, she's like, oh, that's okay, I didn't really like her that much anyway. So they're like commenting on like every death.
The play-by-play by old ladies.
Oh man.
So that was really fun to watch like the second time, especially since it was my second time, so I kind of like knew.
Yeah.
So it was just fun to lay back and like see everyone else's reaction.
It was very jarring to see Peter Parker's reaction.
That was the hardest
that
one
is
for me.
the hardest.
Yeah, his seemed
thing.
more drawn out than everyone else's too.
Oh, it
like
was
he
so
felt he
rough.
was dying,
Gosh.
as opposed to others who were just like, huh,
I was
I'm
dying
disappearing.
dying
Interesting.
inside. Oh my gosh.
But no, he actually like seemed to feel it and was like very torn up about it.
The hardest thing to watch.
It's like, oh my God.
And then Tony Stark, he's the only one, like, he was left, like, alone.
Well,
except for, like, Nebula.
Him and
but,
Nebula.
like, technically,
Yeah, that was crazy to watch. Because, again, he said 50%. So, like, when we moved over here, I was like, okay, so maybe, like, 2 to 3 of these people might die. Well, no, 4 of them are going to die. And then, no, all of them. Because Dr. Strange died, too. It's just like, we got
they all
5
died.
people die right here, leaving only 2. Just Stark and Nebula. I'm like, well...
And I think she's
You're
machine, so I don't even know if she counts, really.
Yeah, I thought about that too.
Yeah, that's
I
a
was
good
like,
question.
would she
Well, she was organic, replaced by machine parts slowly.
Yeah.
So she is.
I guess
she's
if
in
you have
existence.
like a sentient mind or
Yeah,
soul.
yeah. I imagine that's what it would have been. Because he didn't cut off 50% of all life, because like animals were still hanging around, as were plants and all that nonsense. So he cut off sentient life, I'm sure.
Yeah.
I
Another thing I really liked was when Scarlet Witch died. She kind of had she was one of the few that had like kind of a relief. Like she kind of looked up.
yeah.
So I always thought it was like a little romantic note because Vision was dead, and so she's like, "Oh, okay, whatever. I'll go."
Definitely.
Peace out.
Goodness gracious.
And Tony Hawk. Oh my God, Tony Stark is gonna be forever PTSD.
Yeah, no.
Oh my gosh, he's screwed
Forever.
up.
Good night, poor man.
He's already got panic attacks.
I can see this being the reason why he just decides, I don't want to do this anymore. Like I would be like that too. Be like,
Maybe.
what? If we get out of this alive, I'm not doing this anymore.
Yeah. Oh, goodness gracious. I also hated watching freaking Black Panther die.
Oh yeah.
Because I didn't know at what point to feel safe when everybody was disappearing.
Yeah.
I didn't know when
Yeah.
it was
Didn't
over.
stop.
And so when I saw him be like, hey, he was checking on someone. So I was like, okay, good. So he's all right, and maybe this person will die. But no, he dies. I'm like, no. He's so cool. He's so new. Why?
I
Yeah.
think it's easier now to count how many people are still alive than it is to how many people died. Though.
Well, everybody who's had 3 movies is alive.
Yeah, it's kind of like the OGs.
the original Avengers,
The
basically.
plot armor.
Yes, the plot armor.
Yeah.
Oh, freaking the first one we watched died was Bucky, and that was sad because he spoke a little bit before he died too. Said
No,
Steve's
he was like
name.
the first too.
Oh my
And he was
gosh.
the first one.
Brr.
One of my friends was talking about the deaths and everything, and he was like, it's funny that all these heroes died, but one of them should have died, and it was Tony Stark, and he didn't. And he was like, really, of all the ones?
No, I don't think he should have died. I thought they were going to kill him, and I'm glad they didn't. Because
especially when he got stabbed.
I'm of the opinion that David was. So I call that they probably were going to kill him, even though I don't want them to. And David brought up a really good point way back when we first started talking about this. And he was like, I hate it when the end of a character's arc is for them to die. Like after Tony has seen this future, had Thanos in his head for so long, thought about this possible outcome, and now that he's finally here, finally given it his all and seen his plan fail and seen things not work out, it would have been ridiculous for him to die in that moment. I want him to be able to live, to see this through, to finish it off, and then to retire and be like an old man that helps out the Avengers or funds them or makes tech or whatever. Like he could be like what Bruce Wayne eventually turns into in Batman Beyond. Like I'd be totally okay with that. I don't want him to be killed. But yeah, I disagree with anyone who thinks that he should have died. They're all wrong.
Yeah, no, I agree with that as well. Like Tony Stark is I don't think that it would be, if he's alive, I don't think it would be like his character to not help the Avengers or help support the future generation.
Absolutely.
That was my other question. Like, when he released the suit for Spider-Man, like, it was like 17A. Like, I feel like he has a suit for everyone,
Probably.
and I want to see all of them.
That's a very Tony Stark
I
thing
want
to
to
do.
see that in part 2.
Yeah.
Because Hulkbuster, where did Hulkbuster come from? Like, did Bruce just have access to it or something?
Yeah,
Like,
that's another question I have.
Yeah.
They just have him. He just has that, and I'm just like, how did we get here, Scott? I mean, Tony's not even on Earth. Who?
Yeah.
What is this
Did it
going?
fly from New York? Like,
Maybe Bruce just like hooked up to him with a phone or something like that, but
Maybe.
I don't know. They never really addressed that either.
Yeah, I have no idea. But again, things we might see in an extended version, which will be fun. Small tidbits that weren't super necessary for the plot of the film, but would be fun to see.
Extended edition.
Was there anything bad about this movie?
Probably. I don't know. It's so much to take in.
Yeah, it's a lot to unpack.
And I think
for sure.
I think a lot of it will depend on how the next movie comes out, how we handle the ending of this little arc.
The mass disintegration.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know how they're going to get back through this. I mean, it's like that in the comics, but in the comics they didn't like turn to dust. They turned into paper, like sheets of paper.
Fun.
And they just like disappeared that way, which is pretty cool. But I just don't know how this universe is going to pick themselves back up and get back into it.
Because I feel like the people who died, I don't know, like the actual death way are dead. So I feel like War's dead.
Mm-hmm.
Loki's dead.
Heimdall.
Yeah. But then all the people who like disintegrated will probably come back.
Yeah, likely how.
I don't know
well,
about
I mean,
Vision.
like we just based off of the movie lineup, Spider-Man has to come back.
Yeah.
He has.
And the Guardians have to come back in some form or another.
They're gonna have a third movie. So I mean, also I hated watching Groot die.
Yeah, that was so sad.
It's like the only friend Rocket has.
Yeah, Rocket's the only Guardian left. Oh
crap!
man.
You're right. Holy crap!
That's crazy to think about. Jeez Louise.
From a team of what, 5 people?
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Oh man.
He's the captain now.
Mm-hmm.
Ugh.
He is the captain. That's right. He's the captain now. That's so good. Oh man. Oh, how do we feel about Homeboy getting an eyeball back? Thor.
Thor.
Yeah, let him have it.
I like that they just summed that up. They were
patch.
just like, okay, we're tired of this eye patch here.
Yeah.
Just give him an eyeball.
I'm tired of making her the eye patch.
Yeah.
No. Let's just.
And it's easier to deal with the contact, I think, than it is for like CGIing something.
Let's just give him heterochromia now. It's fine.
Give him what now?
Heterochromia.
What does that mean?
2 different colored eyes.
Gosh, that's cool. Okay.
Oh, the proper term is heterochromia iridum. Or iridum.
Iridum.
Oh, look at him.
Iridum.
No,
That's
it's
cool.
just that's like a character trope I don't like, and it's overused for like those OCs.
Those OCs.
Do not steal. Copyright.
Gotcha. Yeah, anyway, that was fun. Anything else in this film?
10 out of 10. Would avenge again.
We didn't
Would avenge
go
again.
over the post.
Let's talk. Yeah, that was going to be my next thing if we didn't have anything else. Post-credit sequence! Okay, first off, how do we feel about there only being one? Should there have been more?
No.
I don't even think they're ready for that.
Yeah, I feel like because we were lucky to have this one.
A lot of the time,
like, that was a
lot of the times,
ending.
like the first mid-credit sequence or whatever it is, the first one that pops up is usually a little bit comical. It seems, and then we get a more serious one later on. So I'm glad they left that out and just gave us this one serious one at the end.
Yeah.
And I like how traditional it was. And
Nick Fury.
yeah, well, also just in like sort of a traditional Marvel sense, in that like since like the first round of Marvel movies, they've gotten a little more creative with their post-credit sequences, and so they're not always alluding to things in the future. Just like I think the end of freaking Spider-Man, the one at the very end is just Captain America doing like takes of that freaking show.
School
that
thing.
stuff. It was just funny, but I think this was back to some S.H.I.E.L.D. agents talking about the next hero that's coming, or dropping hints about the next hero that's coming. So that's what it was, and that was really cool. Anyway, post-credit sequence. They're driving around. What I was praying for, and what I was really hoping was going to happen, was that they were driving, and then the car skids out in front of them. Right? I was hoping beyond hope that like Coulson was going to get out of the car and be like, "Hey, we got a real problem," or that he was going to be calling. Like I want Coulson to make his presence in the MCU again so badly.
Yeah, I don't think it'll happen, but I
probably
really
won't
love
ever
to
happen.
see him back in there.
But that would be so freaking fun and cool. But
especially since we see Nick Fury still doing this thing.
Yeah.
Doing his own shield.
He can't
thing.
put it down.
It's interesting.
What's he gonna do? He's got one eye. What civilian job's he gonna go get?
Well, he's gonna have 2 eyes in the new Marvel, the Miss Marvel movie,
because
Captain
it's
Marvel.
set in the 90s.
Prequel. Yeah.
But yeah, it was.
And he's got a little bit of a fro going.
It was cool. So he busted out his space-time beeper and clicked on Ms. Marvel, or I'm sorry, not Ms. Marvel, Captain Marvel.
Captain Marvel.
Ms. Marvel is a different superhero. Yeah, and I did not grasp that the first time I saw it. Like when I first saw that logo, I was like, "What is that?" But then luckily I was surrounded by nerds in my first viewing, so I was like, "Oh yeah, Captain Marvel." I was like, "Oh yes, that's what's on her chest." Gotcha.
That's how I found out. I was like, And it was like after it, like I didn't
Right.
know, and then there's this guy that was blurted out. He's like, "That's Captain Marvel's symbol."
Yes.
I'm like, "Oh."
Gotcha. Yeah, and it jogged my memory because like I've seen the symbol and I've seen that character. Like I know what she looks like and I know the symbol on the front. I didn't piece it together at all when I first saw it. But yeah, that's cool. Is that the next one? Or no, Ant-Man and the Wasp is next.
Ant-Man and the Wasp, and then her movie doesn't come out until next March.
Right, and then we have Avengers 4.
And I think they gave us this big open space between July and next March because this movie definitely sets a bar, and so for people who haven't caught up, it gives them an opportunity to go, okay, seriously though, if you haven't figured it out, you're going to need to know all this stuff for the next movie.
Also, just a time to let it sink in and to actually feel the loss.
Oh yeah.
And I'm fairly certain that the freaking Ant-Man movie isn't going to be set after this. It'll probably be set slightly before this.
Yeah, it'll probably end with like people disintegrating in it.
Maybe we might have some. Yeah, there might be like an after credit sequence. Do you think he'll be in the next one?
Oh yeah.
I imagine so too.
If they name dropped him, I mean, he's probably going to be in there.
Yeah, that's what I think too. I think probably Hawkeye as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he's going to be there too.
Yeah. Goodness gracious. Think they're going to introduce any other new people other than Captain Marvel?
I'd like them to, but I can't think of any Kira that we haven't already heard of.
I don't know, because I'm imagining they're saving Adam Warlock for the third Guardians, because they teased him at the end of second Guardians.
I think the Russo brothers said that Adam Warlock won't take any part in the Avengers movies. So.
Fun junk. Yeah.
Which is weird because, he was a key in the comics.
I think Captain Marvel's going to take his spot. I think that's what she's going to be here for. But anyways, crazy stuff. But yeah, I might go see this movie again.
It's worth it. I mean, I probably will too.
Good.
I don't know.
Anyway, I assume we would all recommend this, yes?
Oh, yeah.
Would you recommend this to someone who has not seen all of the Marvel films?
I would tell them to go see the others. Or
What specifically would you tell them to see before seeing this?
Definitely Black Panther. Like that's one of the main since it's like it takes place in the movie.
Yes.
Probably Civil War.
Gotcha.
So you can watch the first Avengers. Without knowing,
watch First Avengers. Maybe watch Ultron for a little bit of context. That's when the Hulk leaves.
The first Guardians as well. The second Guardians is unnecessary.
That's right. First Guardians would be all right. I'd say definitely Thor Ragnarok.
Yeah.
Yes.
Maybe even like the first Thor as well, because they introduced the Reality Stone there.
Oh, that's the second one.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, Thor the Dark World is where the Reality Stone.
Okay, yeah, no, you're right.
Yeah.
Now that you say the name of it, you're right.
Yep.
Okay, the second Thor then.
Yeah, perhaps. I really like the second Thor. A lot of people don't, but I enjoy it quite a bit. But yeah, I'd say with those, you'd probably be okay to be able to see this.
That's a lot of movies.
It's a crap ton of movies. That's the thing. Is this movie is a big old juicy dessert to gift to everyone who has sat through all of these movies up until now. Like it is a gift to the fans, and it's just like, so it is a hard movie to recommend. Unless those people have seen it. Like, it's mostly, like, it's not me recommending it, it's me saying, hey, have you seen this yet? For the most part. Because I just assume everyone likes these movies and watches them. Although there's several people in my office that just don't care for them. And I'm like, what else are you watching right now? Like, it's like... anyways. But yeah. One of our coworkers recently was just like, man, I'm really tired of superhero movies. And I was like, well... that sucks for you because they're not going anywhere.
Yeah, this is just key because I mean, when we see all the people that are coming to see these movies, like they're just going to keep milking this forever.
Definitely. That's good. Great movie. Would recommend or would ask if you've seen it and why you haven't yet. I say we move on to our next segment, which we've given a name to now. Our segment called "What You Should Be Watching." This is where we talk about what we've been watching recently and what we think you, as the readers or listeners, should be listening and watching to listening to and watching to? Those are good.
Now that you say that, it's like I play video games too, so we're gonna have
Right,
to
that's what I
include,
mean. Like
other things.
this is what you should
Aside
be
from watching.
what you should be reading, what you should be watching, what you should be playing, what you should be
what
investing.
you should be nerding out to.
Yes, there you go. What you should nerd about this week. There we go. Anyways, Eddie, what have you been doing?
Stardew Valley multiplayer just came out.
Yeah, that's right. You told me about that.
I've been playing the crap out of that.
Mm-hmm.
Also, and I know you're probably gonna hate me for this, but I actually got the Final Fantasy 14 game.
Oh, you did? You're supposed to tell me.
Yeah.
But like one of my other friends was talking to me, like had been talking to me about it, and has been telling me to get it, and I was like, fine. But I mean, you can join up with me probably. So
yeah, you got. I imagine you got it on PC.
Yeah.
Is it cross-platform with PS4?
Yes, it
Yes,
is.
it is.
Cool. That's what I thought. Do y'all still play?
Yes,
Yep.
we do.
What server are you on, Eddie?
Sargatarnus or Sargatar something, Sega something.
Darn it.
We can still
Is that what?
Yeah, we can dungeon.
Is that what your friend is?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Sargatanus.
Maybe we should make another character on whatever server they're on.
No. So, because they just opened up a way for us to dungeon with people in other servers.
Yeah,
now,
we
so
can
that's
still play together, just not like
yeah. We just can't see each other day to day
really
stuff.
play together. Yeah.
Gotcha. That's fun. Yeah, I guess I'm the only one left that needs to get that.
I've been really enjoying it. Like coming from like World of Warcraft.
Yeah.
And that's all I played. Like, well, I played Guild Wars 2. I played WildStar. I played Elder Scrolls Online. I didn't like any of them. Like, I just got so bored so easily with them.
Yeah.
Aside from playing
I
World
wanted
of
to
Warcraft.
like Guild Wars 2 so bad.
Yeah,
I tried
same.
So hard.
It looked so pretty. It was so gorgeous.
I know.
And then I just started playing 14, and I was like, why am I enjoying this so much? Like, even more than World of Warcraft. Like, I've been enjoying it more than World of Warcraft because even like the crafting system is so interactive. It's ridiculous.
I love crafting
it's
so much.
crazy compared to like World of Warcraft, where you just enter the number and click craft, and it just automatically crafts everything for you. I love it.
Before
it's really good.
before the last expansion, I had most of my crafters up to maximum level, and then I went on a mission, and now there's like 20 levels more that to do. So
I don't know. I was just really impressed with like everything. Like it looks pretty. The controls are tighter than World of Warcraft's. I like it a lot.
That's cool.
I recommend it.
This is a game that I know I would like, and that's why I haven't really invested in it.
You will get addicted to it. Like I'm already addicted to it.
Gosh.
It's ridiculous.
Well, maybe
I've
they'll
only played it for 3
they'll
days,
put it on the Switch, and then I'll really be done.
No, I'm not gonna.
No, I imagine they
Switch
wouldn't.
can't handle it.
Yeah, no.
Oh man, goodness gracious! I haven't touched my Switch in a bit. I need to get another game that I can play on it.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I'll play that Mario game everybody thinks is good.
Yeah, you know, like you could go on your own like adventure, maybe call it an Odyssey or something.
Oh yes. Excellent. Anything else you've been up to, Eddie? Have you watched any more Lost in Space?
Lost in Space yet,
Yeah.
but
My roommate got onto it, so I've been seeing glimpses of it, and I was like, I should probably watch that.
I did finish Agretsuko because it's.
Oh, you watched it all?
Yeah, they're only 15-minute episodes.
Excellent, so, that's good.
I did watch that, and it's really good. I love it so much, especially since coming from like a retail environment.
Oh.
But it's an office like anime.
Right.
It's really good.
Have y'all watched any of that?
No.
I don't think I've ever heard of it.
Agretsuko, yeah. Agretsuko is like a spin-off Hello Kitty character. She's a middle-aged woman. She's a red panda. She's a middle-aged woman, and when she gets mad about things, she sings death metal.
Death metal karaoke.
Yeah.
It's so good.
Oh yeah, I've seen the little thingy,
It's
like
so
the
good.
icon.
Yeah,
for
it's on
it.
Netflix. Yeah, treat yourself. It's a good time.
Yeah.
I haven't watched it like
And-
front to end, beginning to end like Eddie has, but I've seen a good portion of it, and it's such a good
And
time.
they're 15-minute episodes, and there's only 10 right now, so
Yeah.
it's really quick.
Oh man. But yeah, I guess I'll do Lost in Space at some point.
Oh,
That's-
definitely. Like it's really good.
I
haven't
watched the
finished it
first
yet.
episode of another one that's on another anime that's on Netflix. Frick, I'm not gonna something L Garden.
Oh, we did too.
Violet Evergarden.
Yeah, there you go. I watched the first episode of that, and I was like, I probably won't watch any more of this.
Yeah, we watched the first episode. It's kind of. I think it's just slow to start, but it was pretty boring that first episode. So
Yeah.
but I've been told by other people that like it's got a very dramatic storyline to it, so I might continue.
Yeah. Once I finish all the other anime on Netflix, I'll watch it. Yeah, I wasn't too big into it. I haven't been doing a whole lot else. I think I already mentioned that I read through the first Teen Titans graphic novel, Rebirth. Teen Titans Rebirth. I recently got an iPad and an Apple Pencil, so I've been drawing using Procreate. That's what most of my time has been spent doing. Not a whole lot of time actually, but that's some of my free time has been spent doing that. Other free time has been spent working on my portfolio and just doing work stuff. And I really do need a break. I was intending to get Ocarina of Time this past week, but then I got an iPad, so I may still do that.
I mean, those are two very different items. So.
They are. Well, no, but the price range for the iPad, the punch to my bank account is what is making me
I suppose
wait a smidge.
Money.
Money.
I mean, granted, Ocarina of Time for the 3DS is like $20 right now. So.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Cool. I'll look into
it's
that.
even less used. I think it's like $13 on Amazon.
Oh, solid. I guess I'll go into that. But yeah, that's been me. Scaly, what have y'all been doing?
I know it's like old school, but we've gotten into Pokemon Go recently.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
What
like hardcore. Yeah.
What generations are up on there? Is it 1 and 2 now? 3? Oh.
3.
Dang.
And they're doing a lot of like updates and a lot of so what they did recently, they released a new legendary, so we're doing that, and like this new thing called research, and so every day you can get like a sticker.
It's daily quests, basically.
Yeah, it's basically dailies, and then at the end of it, you get like another legendary. And
there's a main campaign now, so that you can acquire an encounter with Mew.
Yeah, so you can get Mew.
Fun job.
And then like a couple weeks ago, they had like 2 weeks where they increased all the Kanto Pokemon.
Yeah.
And so like I've actually almost like 100% my Kanto Pokedex and stuff like that. So that was really cool.
It seems like they're coming out with events more often. Like they just started an event today where all fighting Pokemon are starting to become more accessible now because this weekend they want to do like this big like gym battle thing or whatever. So.
Yeah. And then they have things called Community Day, and so they'll pick like a Pokemon and they'll release like a bunch of them, and there's like higher chances for shinies and things like that. So Charmander's next.
Get them shinies.
Like shiny Charmander.
What's a shiny Charmander look like?
He's purplish.
So Charmander turns yellow, but then he becomes a purple Charizard.
Yeah.
So
interesting.
It's really pretty.
So
and the thing is, Pokemon Go doesn't even have a friends list yet.
No, it doesn't.
Which is
but
super weird to me.
They're gonna get that. They're gonna get that in upcoming updates along with Generation 4 and
quote unquote. They've been saying that
But
since
I'm
the
gonna get
beginning.
that Zapdos though. Who needs friends when I have Zapdos?
Yeah. Okay.
I got my electric bird. Rayquaza.
I've been watching a lot of the CW shows. All the series are about to run out now, so I'm getting to the end point.
Oh crap!
So.
Is
I
Arrow
think I'm
still
2
doing
episodes
stuff?
behind iZombie.
Oh.
Arrow's almost done. It's got about 3 episodes left.
What season
and
is
iZombie's
they
been
on?
doing
Is
really
this
good,
7?
too. They're on 6. But yeah, they've been confirmed for a 7th one.
Good.
Actually, everybody's been confirmed for another
Good
one.
night. I just the amount of time that's like all of these have been going on, and yet we don't have like a Batman. Is absurd to me.
And Black Lightning did so well that they were talking about adding him at least to the Crisis event for the next season.
It's really
so
good.
that'll be pretty cool.
Black Lightning is really
Black
good.
Lightning
I
is
watched
really
it all
good.
too.
Cool.
So.
Oh.
I might watch it myself
forgot
then. So right now it's set in an alternate universe, or are they just not addressing its setting?
It's kind of its own thing. It hasn't really been decided whether it's in a different universe or a different multiverse or whatever. But I mean, they've referenced other heroes before, but they're not like they didn't blatantly say like Green Arrow, Flash, anything like that. They're just saying like there's other vigilantes out there doing the same thing I'm doing.
Right. Gotcha. Neato.
They left it open ended just to see, I think. But a lot of fans want him to come by. But the Arrowverse is filmed in Canada, and Black Lightning's filmed in Georgia, so it's hard for them to do crossover stuff.
Yeah.
Meh. They have money for plane tickets.
Yeah.
Yeah, they definitely do if they want to get this
figure
happen.
it out.
I don't
But yeah,
think
so
travel is a hardship.
You're kind of so far.
Other than that, there's a show that I started watching a couple of weeks ago called Into the Badlands. I don't know if you guys have heard of it.
I've seen the
It's an
first couple episodes. I didn't continue going. I probably should. It's real cool though. Didn't
It's very
Homeboys
good.
did some of the designs for props in that.
Homeboy.
Airship
really?
Isabella.
What? I mean, it is very steampunk,
Yeah,
so that makes
they
sense.
did-
Plus, the
yeah.
whole first season was filmed in Louisiana.
Yes,
so.
they did a lot of like prop design for that group.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's amazing.
Really friggin' cool. For listeners that don't know what we're talking about, Airship Isabella is a steampunk group that operate out of New Orleans that several of us know. Scott and David were on a fairly close basis with them for a bit. First name basis and all that nonsense. But yeah, they're cool. They're originally from Texas and they're now based out of New Orleans. But they're a cool little steampunk group that make really cool things. Anyways, yeah. I think that's about it. Oh, did any of y'all hear about I don't know if this had happened last time we recorded or not, but the Switch hack?
Oh yeah. I read about that.
Yeah, I read.
What's that
So
about?
people have been hacking their Switches, and the way people do it though is like it's through a very very physical. It's a very physical way of doing it. Like
it's a hardware hack as
Yeah,
opposed to
as opposed to a software
they
hack.
can't fix it.
They can't just patch it out. And I'm just like, I don't like reading through it. I was like, I would not attempt this. Like,
It's very like it's dangerous for those that don't know anything about like circuitry and
What does the
soldering.
hack do, though?
Well, you can load homebrew and pirated games and stuff on it.
yeah.
Whoa.
So like at this point, it's not possible to like hack into to like be able to put your own like code and different things onto the Switch. Like you can't use it like a computer, even though it is basically a computer. It's a tablet, you know what I mean? But like it's protected against you putting your own stuff on it. So right now, the only thing you can get is whatever's on the eShop, which is severely limited even after a year of this thing being out. And so a lot of people have just been like, well, screw it, I'm going to put my own virtual console up on this mug. And so they've been hacking it
Yeah,
and
people
putting
are
their own
playing like
virtual console.
GameCube games and stuff.
Yeah. Oh, I also love that Sega announced that they're just going to go ahead and put their equivalent of a virtual console on the Switch and just sell like all their classic games on it. I'm just like, yes.
I mean, that's what Nintendo needs to do.
Yeah, that exactly. And they're just dragging their feet so bad. I'm just like,
And they're going to lose a lot
Yeah,
of money
you're
if
gonna
they
lose
make a way to make this
all of
easy
your
for
money.
people.
yes.
Because they're already developing like a chip that you can insert into like the cartridge area to actually implement this hack.
Yeah, a 3D printed little thing.
Yeah.
But yeah. Crazy. Anyways, I think that's it. I think that's
I would be. Oh,
sorry.
I would be happy to buy like a GameCube game on my
Right?
Switch. But
Anybody
come on.
would.
Oh, yeah.
I would. I mean, but if I have to resort to hacking, you know,
I would buy another Switch before
I
did.
don't know what I would do.
I'm not saying I would do such a thing, but someone like me may. Right. Yeah, get your stuff together and give us a virtual console and freaking Netflix and YouTube. Like what? Why can I put?
Yeah,
why
it's been
can I
a hot
have
minute
YouTube?
for not having YouTube or Netflix.
Yeah, why can I have YouTube on my like DS but not my freaking Switch?
Because they want to make money off their Switch first of all their products that they have before going to third-party stuff. That's why, Ethan.
I'm sure this new E3 is going to open up a whole lot more
Oh yeah,
avenues
no,
for video games.
they're like after this 1 year that's it's been out, like they're gonna release their big games like the next Animal Crossing, the Smash game, and
Freaking Smash! I'm so excited.
They've also announced that there's going to be a Pokemon game for
and the
Switch,
Pokemon game in November, and then it's gonna steamroll from there. So it'll be soon.
How excited are we about that freaking Pokemon game though? Am I
Super
right?
Too excited.
I'm so
Because,
pumped.
Too excited.
Because they really want to revolutionize it like they did with Zelda. So
Yeah. I assume y'all have a Switch, Kaleigh.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
We played.
I have them on my friends list. Do you have me on your friends list?
I doubt it. I don't even know how to access that. What does that even look like?
You just gotta get a friend code.
Well, now I feel better because I'm pretty sure I sent a request to Ethan and he never
Yeah, no, I don't even know.
Yeah.
I think I'm pretty sure Eddie has also sent me some kind of information, and I'm just like, I don't know what
I
this
know.
is.
I accepted Scaly's friend request. Just
sorry, guys. But yeah. So, anyways, great things. Everybody out there, get a Switch and go play some games. Real talk though, if you haven't played friggin' Zelda Breath of the Wild, or
you're missing out.
You really are. Oh gosh. What is anybody interested in God of War? I've been hearing good reviews about that game.
Oh, I'm super excited.
Yeah,
for that
I actually want to play that.
Yeah,
I was gonna watch a playthrough of it, but then I was like, I probably will want to play this.
Yeah, I've heard.
So I stopped.
I've heard it's like a really necessary experience. So just more evidence to
More video
how I
games.
should have a freaking PS4, but I just don't yet. Other stuff keeps getting in the way. We'll see. But yeah, I want that PS4 though.
Yep.
Anyways,
March 3 soon too.
right? Supposedly before I die.
Theoretically. Maybe. Another glimpse of gameplay in E3. Probably.
We'll see. Anyways, thanks guys. That's it. That's the show this week. Thank you all for listening. You can find us on the YouTubes, on iTunes, Google Play, Castbox, Stitcher, Podbean, most places that you can find podcasts. You will be able to find Those Nerds You Know. But hit us up. Let us know what you thought about the Infinity War and where we're going from here. Do you hope everyone comes back? Do you hope someone doesn't come back? Let us know what you think, and just nerd out with us on that, and let us know maybe what you've been watching or playing or reading, and what we should be watching, playing, or reading. Let us know if there's anything you'd like us to talk about here on the show. You can get in contact with us on Twitter. We are at TeamYKPod on Twitter. You can also find us on Facebook. And you can hit up our email at thosenerdsyouknowpod@gmail.com. But yeah, that's it. Thanks for thank you new guests for being with us, Kaleigh. But yeah, my name's Ethan.
I'm Eddie.
I'm Scott.
I'm Kaleigh.
And we are Those Nerds You Know.
Bye.
Bye.